Niger generals vow to prosecute ousted President Bazoum for high treason. Farmers flee as bandits invade villages in Niger State. 19 states to witness heavy rainfall that may lead to flooding from August 14 to 18. On the foreign scene, North Korea's president orders drastic boost in production of missiles shells. These are the headlines on Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. And now the details. Niger's military regime has vowed late Sunday to prosecute ousted President Mohamed Bazoum for what the junta called high treason, slamming West African leaders for imposing sanctions on the country. This is contained in a statement read out by Colonel Major Ahmadu Abdurrahman on national television. They also said sanctions imposed on Niger had made it difficult for people to access medicines, food and electricity, noting that the actions were illegal, inhumane and humiliating. The West African bloc has approved the deployment of a standby force to restore constitutional order in Niger as soon as possible, but remains committed to finding a diplomatic solution to the crisis. Bazoum, 63, and his family have been held at the president's official Niamey residence since the coup, with international concern mounting over his conditions in detention. Meanwhile, youth organizations in Katsina have staged a peaceful demonstration against military coup in Niger Republic. The youth groups call on the junta leaders to release the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum unconditionally and without further delay. Abdullahi Yamadi has the details.
The youth groups who marched through some major streets in Katsina city center were seen holding placards carrying different inscriptions against the Niger junta. The groups who reject military coup anywhere in the West Africa sub-region also condemned what they described as the arrogance of the Niger coupists, who turned back some Nigerian delegations exploring diplomatic resolution of the political crisis in Niger. The pro-democracy groups also applauded ECOWAS for its firm resolve in supporting democracy and the need to defend and restore constitutional order in Niger as a member state.
We applaud the ECOWAS for its firm stance in support of democracy and the need to restore constitutional order in Niger. We want the junta not to plunge our sub-region into a needless and unwarranted conflict because of their selfish gain. The junta should reciprocate the peace gesture demonstrated by ECOWAS and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by immediately rolling back the intent and opening channels of dialogue.
Many prominent Nigerians have suggested dialogue and diplomacy in resolving the impasse to avoid plunging the region into further humanitarian crisis. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Dozens of farmers in villages in Oshishi and Lavo local government areas have reportedly fled their homes since Friday night due to the movements of bandits across the two areas. Some farmers told Daily Trust correspondent that they fled their homes on Friday night to escape the onslaught of the bandits, whom they noted moved in large numbers with cattle. Residents said that the bandits passed the night in Akare and Cheji in Oshishi on Friday after the villagers had fled. A resident of Oshishi, Aliu Muhammad, said that some of the fleeing farmers lived with their relatives while some stay at Kwata Primary School. The Niger State Police Command is yet to issue any statement on the incident. However, a source in the military told our correspondent that the military had been deployed to trace the bandits, who the residents claimed were still in their villages. When contacted, the Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Garba Salihu, said that the situation is being monitored to enable the state government to respond to the need of the internally displaced persons in Wushishi and other parts of the local government. Police in Osun State have arrested suspected armed robbers who snatched a car from a woman. The police recovered the car from the suspects in Port Harcourt, River State. Hamid Oyegbade reports.
According to the Osun State Police Command, the suspect, John Mike, and his gang members robbed a woman in Ilesha and snatched her car. The suspect took the car to Rivers State, where he was using it as his private car. Police detectives traced the car to Rivers State, recovered it, and arrested the suspect and his gang members. But Mike claimed that he bought the car without knowing that it was a stolen vehicle.
I mean that there's some guy that have Corolla, and me I need Corolla to drive as my own private. I want to buy a Corolla. When they now called me, I said what type of Corolla, and they said the details to me. They said the details 004, and I came down to Osun State. And they said the picture through WhatsApp to me, and I checked, we negotiate on price. So when I came down to the Osun State to buy the vehicle from them, and I travel with the custom paper, with everything, is with the car. When I said the vehicle, I paid them their money and I drive the vehicle away. Even the custom paper that I used to drive it to my destination, be it Port Harcourt. So it's later on, the same people now called me that I should come to Osun. I said, what happened? They said they want to see me. When I'm on my way getting to Osun, they said I get arrested. And now let me know that the vehicle was stolen from somebody, I don't know. So that's why I'm here since that time.
The command advised youths in the state to shun criminal tendencies and strive to earn legitimate income.
We have a lot of youths out there that are doing things that are normal, that are doing lawful job, that are, creating things for themselves, and they are making it from there. They should shun everything that is evil or that is unlawful, because we are determined as a command, as a police command, that we are going to rid this command of all these criminal elements.
The Commissioner of Police in the state, Kehinde Longe, said his men have resolved that there will be no hidden place for criminals in the state. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
The Jamaatul Nasrul Islam has called for investigation into the Zaria Central Mosque collapse during the evening prayer session last Friday. At least 10 persons were killed when a section of the mosque collapsed on worshippers. The JNI, in a statement by its Secretary General Khalid Abubakar Aliyu, said that the probe had become necessary to ascertain the cause of the collapse and to forestall a similar incident. Now, the statement said that safety measures should be reviewed and implemented where necessary to prevent similar accidents from happening in the future. In the meantime, following the tragic incident at the Zaria Central Mosque, Pastor Yohana Buru, the General Overseer of Christ Evangelical and Life Intervention Ministry, has expressed condolences to the Muslim community in the northern Nigeria. The incident involved the collapse of the mosque during worship in Kaduna State, resulting in the loss of lives and leaving several others injured. In a gesture of solidarity and compassion, Pastor Buru reached out to Muslims across the region, invoking divine blessings for those who lost their lives. He offered prayers for the souls of the departed, hoping for their eternal peace and a merciful reception in paradise. The debate around the need to provide definite roles for traditional rulers in the nation's constitution continued to take center stage at different fora. Prior to independence, traditional rulers play a leading role in the society due to their proximity to the people. But their influence in the governance structure has been on steady decline. It is against this backdrop that Trust TV's Abubakar Abdullahi takes a look at the situation. His report is presented from our studio.
Lack of section or clause in the constitution spelling out the clear rule of traditional rulers has triggered an underlying debate on how the absence of such is affecting different communities in one way or the other. Traditional or community leaders were before now in charge of governance of society, where they play executive, legislative, and judicial functions. As society grew, these functions were taken away from traditional rulers, and continuously society are feeling the negative effect of lack of these powers with traditional institutions despite their importance in shaping the society. Emir of Azara, a first-class traditional ruler in Nasarawa State, Kabiru Ibrahim, explained reasons behind the downward trajectory.
Already we have various roles that we play, both judicial function and executive function, and we have been doing that effectively. Whether we're in the constitution or not, we still do our function that we inherit from our forefathers. But we think that because of changes in time, societal changes, in those days, as an emir, you can decide to say, this man should go to jail, this one should be executed. But you know, with the change in societal changes, things are not like before.
To find solution to the problem, the monarch says funding traditional institutions will make the institution more viable and result-oriented, especially in addressing the security situation in the country.
The issue of whether funding of a traditional ruler is concerned, I think again depends on which of the state you belong to, or the government that of each state have the way they take care of their traditional ruler. And that most states, they still try their best. But if you go to other states, unfortunately, the traditional ruler, they have nothing to write home about. And you know that you cannot be able to function effectively as a traditional ruler without proper funding.
The traditional ruler is of the opinion that most traditional rulers in the modern day society are professional in different fields of endeavors, and by giving them constitutional roles, governments will leverage their various expertise for the benefit of the society. An academic and traditional title holder of Makama Wamba, Mukhtar Waki, says people at grassroots accord tremendous respect to traditional rulers, who are the custodian of their cultural heritage.
You see, where they got it wrong was that most politicians could not convince and direct subjects to do their bidding. They prefer to listen to the traditional rulers because they see them as custodians of custom and tradition.
Growing population and lack of constitutional rules have been undermined their influence in governance and the society.
No fewer than 19 states are likely to witness heavy rainfall, which might likely lead to flooding in the affected states between August 14 to 18, 2023. The National Emergency Management Agency's Southwest Coordinator, Ibrahim Farunloye, in a message said that the prediction was made by the Flood Early Warning Systems Central Hub, Federal Ministry of Environment. According to Farunloye, the flood will affect the following locations in Delta, Ekiti, Ondo, Nasarawa, Ogun, Oshun, Lagos, across Cross River, and Nasarawa states. Other states involved are Bauchi, Jigawa, Adamawa, Kwara, Zamfara, Sokoto, Benue, Imo, and Abia State. The NEMA official warned those residing in such states and areas to take precautionary measures ahead of the stated date. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at ways to tackling rampaging poverty in the country. Details and more after the break.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not a virtue in itself.
Let me finish.
But there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No, it's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its high horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will you deny education? All these children that sit for them, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories. Niger generals vow to prosecute ousted President Bazoum for high treason. Farmers flee as bandits invade villages in Niger State. Now, in other news, empowering youths to acquire skills and stimulating small and medium-scale businesses is critical to tackling rampaging poverty in the country. A cross-section of respondents in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, made the observation while speaking with Trust TV's correspondent, Jimmy Azandi.
The respondents are of the opinion that addressing the current economic realities in the country required a pragmatic approach to youth empowerment through skills acquisition to guarantee self-reliance.
Because government is not helping matters. Like now, I want to say is that it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter your education qualification. But if you find yourself by doing one thing or the other, God will bless you of that what you are doing. Like I learn handwork, and it is the handwork that is helping me. I'm taking care of my family. They are going to school, we're not lacking. So, but if it depends that you do government work, government can feed you as what is happening this time around.
Others said formal education alone is not a solution to rising youth unemployment. It must be supported with relevant skills for sustainable development.
I am encouraging youth to go back to skill acquisition because it is self-employed. Because this can make you to raise money by yourself, and then it will also give finances to you yourself and the family and also the society.
The youth nowadays, if they should go to school, they solely depend on the formal education that they acquire from school and go out looking for white-collar jobs and all of this. But what is necessary in this current situation of Nigeria economy? What we want is handiworks and everything and other crafts that can enable us to be self-employed. So my advice for the youth is that we should not solely depend on the formal education that we acquire from the university or other schools. That we should go forth and look for other vocational skills to help our life and earn a living.
Because as far as you have something doing every day that you come to your shop, you discover that God will bless you with something that you take to your house. So, but if you depend on people, sometimes maybe you go to them, you will not find anything. So it will not even help you with anything, you'll be frustrated. So for you not to be frustrated, it is when you have something doing handwork is very, very important in this life.
As the present administration fine-tunes its palliative measures to cushion the impact of petrol subsidy removal, the respondents say encouraging self-sustainability amongst youth is necessary to build a strong and resilient economy. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, in Zamfara State says it frowns at extrajudicial killings and illegal arrests of persons accused of being armed bandits, informants by volunteer groups popularly known as Ansake. The state's coordinator of the commission, Abdullahi Abubakar, disclosed this while speaking with journalists in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, over the renewed spate of attacks, abductions and killings. He said the commission is investigating 5 cases of extrajudicial killing and illegal arrest in the state. The report.
According to Abdullahi, there are many of such cases in Zamfara State which the commission is investigating in order to ensure justice for the victims and prevent future occurrences, even as he calls on Governor Dauda Lawal to move fast to engage residents of the troubled communities to discuss ways they can collectively join to tackle the insecurity in the state.
We need to sit down with major traditional leaders in the area. That's the emirs, the district heads. They know they should identify the people that they know. Then from there, he should also sit down with all security personnel in that local government.
Abubakar urges the military, which is launching the ongoing offensive against the armed bandits, to change the strategy because despite the efforts of the troops to rout them, they are, however, emboldened daily and the military has not been able to capture any of their leaders.
Even though the security personnel are doing their best, especially Nigerian Air Force and Nigerian Army, even the Nigerian police too, they do have some arrests. The Nigerian Air Force are doing attacks. The Nigerian Army are doing their own. That's the ground truth, but it's not the way to go, and it's not enough because there is no day that will pass without hearing an abduction in the state, without hearing from 2-3 local governments. There are killings, there are abductions, even through the federal roads. They do block the roads and fight all the commuters. Yes, the commuters. So there is a need for them to change this time. And what I feel is I should still go back to the engagement with the locals.
The National Human Rights Commission NHRC coordinator called on federal and Zamfara state governments to be proactive to stop the spate of attacks, abductions, and killing of innocent citizens by armed bandits to ensure peace return to troubled and rural communities, to enable farmers to go about carrying out their lawful activities without fear of being attacked.
And on the foreign scene, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has inspected key ammunition factories, including a tactical missile production plant, and ordered a drastic boost in the manufacturing of missiles, rocket launcher, shells, and other weapons. The inspection reported on Monday are the latest in a string of visits by Kim to defense facilities, where he has emphasized the mass production of weapons. It comes as South Korea and the United States prepare for annual military drills that North Korea views as an invasion rehearsal. It also comes as officials in the U.S. said that they believe Russia is seeking North Korean weapons for its war with Ukraine. Kim said that the qualitative level of war preparations depends on the development of the munitions industry, and the factory bears a very important responsibility in speeding up the war preparations for the Korean People's Army. Visiting other factories, Kim called for building more modern missile launch trucks and said that there is an urgent need to boost production of large caliber multiple rocket launcher shells at an exponential rate, the report said. Football enthusiasts across the country are eagerly anticipating the start of the next domestic club football season, scheduled for later this month. Expectations are high among fans of popular northern Nigeria club Katsina United, which recently gained promotion to the Nigeria Premier League. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim spoke to players and fans of the club on the level of preparedness as they gear up for the upcoming season.
As the countdown to the new season continues, Katsina United Football Club seems to leave no stone unturned in their preparations to make a comeback to the Premier Football League in the country. An unprecedented 11 new signings, as well as hiring coach Tony Bulus within the past month, raises anticipation of a remarkable comeback campaign among fans.
Ina babban jin daɗi da matuƙar alfahari a Katsina United da take a gari na jihata.
I'm very happy and I feel very proud of the new developments at Katsina United, and I'm grateful to the management of the club, because what we are seeing with the new players, we know that we will do better than when we were relegated last time. I believe many young people have to come out to support the club as their own and move away from some of the things that violence that caused problems for us last time. Chenji Boys, as the club is known, had remained in the Nigeria Premier League for 15 years until it suffered relegation at the end of the 2022 season. Recently recruited players believe rigorous training, among other factors, will propel the team to a successful season.
From what I'm seeing, they are really ready for the league, because from the standard of the players, the standard of the players and the encouragement so far, I think, and the programs from the coaches, both the former coach and the new incoming coach too, I think they are very sound from what we are seeing, and the love in the camp too. That's the most important thing that will push us up, I think. So, and the commitment of the players, I think we are very ready for the league. If they say the league should start tomorrow, we are very fit for the league.
The way I come here, I see the fans, the crowd. If I come play match here, the management, they are so good this time around. They are okay. Yeah, the environment myself is good to me. They have to, the way I want to talk, they have to pray for us. We come here, we will give our Mazama support. They should give us our Mazama support. But by the grace of God, we will try our best to do well by God's grace.
Analyzing the roster of this football club with the new inclusions shows the right mix of experienced veterans and emerging talents. In the world of football, the coming season holds endless possibilities. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more by all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye.